So this is gonna be part one to what if Deku had cremation. So let's get into it. So in this what if, Deku, he will be twins with Todoroki. And he would get the Dobby's Quirk cremation. But Dobby's not gonna be in this one. Because Deku is gonna be like Dobby, I guess. Like he's gonna have like his burns, but he's gonna get them later on. Anyways, so Deku, he's twins with Todoroki, and when they're 4 years old, actually never mind. Let me go back a little. So when Deku was born, he was born with a problem, not like a mental problem or a mental disability. Sorry if you can hear that. That's my family downstairs. I'm sorry. Anyways, that's my little brother. He's crying. Anyways, so Deku would be born, like he would have the fire quirk cremation, but he would have the like his body would be meant for an ice quirk. Like his body would be meant for like an ice quirk, like someone with an ice quirk, like would be really, really good with cold temperatures, but really bad with hot temperatures. So Deku has a fire quirk, but his body is meant for an ice quirk. So when Deku's quirk manifests, it's already blue fire. It's blue flames, like right off the bat. He has like his, and he will, and like this is when he was 4 years old, like his quirk manifested, and his quirk would manifest. It would burn his hand, but not by a lot, just like a small burn. It would still burn and it would still hurt. So they would take Deku to the hospital, and this is where they would evaluate Deku's quirk. And the doctor, I must say that he took an X-ray of Deku, and he found out that his body is not meant is not suited for his quirk. And the doctor, he tells Ray, I think that's her name, Todoroki's mom, I think that's her name. Like, he tells Ray and Endeavor that so basically he says, your son, like, he has, like, his body is not meant for his quirk. And Endeavor would say, like, what do you mean? And the doctor would say, well, you see, your son here, he has a fire quirk, right? And Endeavor would say, yeah, that's how he got burned on his hand. And the doctor would continue. He would say, well, what color was it? Endeavor would say, blue fire. And the doctor would say, just as I thought. And he would explain that Deku, he has a fire quirk, but his body is meant to have an ice quirk. So his body is, so basically, yeah, he tells him that. And Ray, she would ask, like, will he be okay? And like the doctor would say, I don't know, we should, like, his quirk is very dangerous and it could kill him if he uses it too much. And yeah, so they leave. Deku and Todoroki, they're talking, and yeah, and Endeavor, he doesn't care that about Deku, like his quirk and what does to Deku's body. He just cares about his children, or like his two kids taking the number one spot and surpassing All Might. That's all he. So this one there four. So for the next um, um so the training would start when there were when like a few weeks after Deku came back from the hospital. So the training would start. Endeavor would start abusing. I must say, like, he would start abusing Deku more than Todoroki, because yes, Todoroki still has his half hot, half cold, and Endeavor still thinks that Todoroki can take the number one spot easier because of his two quirks, because one, like, both of them counteract each other. Like if his body gets too hot, he can use his ice to cool himself down, and if his body temperature gets too low, he can use his fire to heat himself up. So it's a perfect type combination. But he sees Deku, like, his quirk, his fire, but it's a lot stronger than his. So he trains Deku more, and he abuses him more. And Todoroki, he would still get his scar. But Deku, he tries to protect Todoroki by using his fire. But he couldn't. Like, when he tried to let it out, it just immediately burned his hand. So he would have, like, his skin would be turned, like, to this, like, the purplish color, like how Dobby has his scars, like, but a little but lighter. And so Todoroki would still get his scar, and he would still hate his dad. And Endeavor, he would still continue the training and abusing. And one day when Deku was training, like, his quirk, like, it's just like activated randomly, and it like was too strong for Deku, and he couldn't turn it off. And like, it started burning his skin. Like, it started burning, or Deku, not Dobby's, like, burns are like under his eyes, under his like the lower half of his jaw and his ears, like his neck, everywhere where Dobby's scars are, or like dead skin. I don't even know what that is. So yeah, that's where Deku's burns would be. And he would be crying. Todoroki and the other kids, the sister and the other brother, that I think they both have ice quirks. So, but them three, they would start using their ice quirks to cool Deku down. But when their ice comes near Deku's fire, it just immediately evaporates. And eventually, they get a bucket of water, and they pour it on Deku, and it's like really cold, and it just makes a huge steam cloud. Deku's unconscious, and like his skin is all purple and all that, and it's like falling off. So they immediately rush Deku to the hospital. The doctor would tell him, like, he has third degree, like, the doctor would tell his parents, like he's very hurt, like he has like, third degree burns all over his body. And Endeavor in his mind is saying, like how weak, like, I thought he would be the one. No matter, I still have Shoto over there. He can take over the number one spot. And Todoroki is really worried about Deku, because like they're twins and they're the same age, so they would hang out all the time. And Deku's just there on the hospital bed, like with like where his burns are. Like he has bandages there. Like his eyes are covered up by the bandages and all that. So when they get out of the hospital, Deku, oh I forgot it. Like Deku, his hair is black. Like his hair would be black, and he would come out like that, like how Dobby just imagine Deku with Dobby's scars, and that's how it would turn out. And Endeavor, like when they get out of the hospital and they drive home, Endeavor would like start like saying like mean stuff to Deku, like you're worthless, you're so weak, like how can your Quirk be stronger than you? And he would start beating Deku. Todoroki is watching and he's scared and he's crying in the corner and he's begging Endeavor to stop. I should have, like, this is like gonna be dark. I forgot to mention that early in the start of the video. I'm just gonna say it's gonna be a dark what if, but I like the idea. So yeah, so as I said, Todoroki, he's begging like his dad to stop like beating Deku, but Endeavor is like saying no, he needs to learn a lesson. And then once he's done, he grabs Deku's like forearm, like where his burns are, and it's in like tightly, and he starts like pulling on Deku, and Deku like gets up and he's crying because of how much it hurts. And Todoroki is like saying like, "What are you doing, Dad? Let go of him." And like Todoroki would start hitting his dad, but like Endeavor, he would just like hit Shoto or Todoroki, and he would send Todoroki flying, and Todoroki would be like half unconscious, but he would still get up, but he's too weak to like move. He would still be standing, but he would just be too weak to move. And Endeavor kept continuing to to pull Deku's arm. And Endeavor, he would just throw Deku out of the house. And he would throw Deku out of the house. He would say like, "You're not allowed to come back here ever again until you have mastered your quirk." And then he shuts the door. It begins to rain. Deku's crying. He's crying outside his house. Then he leaves. He starts walking in the city. Like it's starting to get dark. He's in an alleyway. Or no, he's not in an alleyway. He's just like looking at like everyone, like he's seeing like kids with their parents and they're being happy. And there's like kids with balloons and all that. And Deku I'm gonna say he was wearing a hoodie. Like he didn't have his hood up, so everyone's just looking at Deku like really like disgusted and like freaked out because of Deku's scars. So Deku puts on his hood and begins crying, and he goes to an alleyway. So he goes into an alleyway and he stays homeless. He becomes homeless, and and a few years go by. He's now 7. So it's been like 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. So it's been 3 years since Deku was on the street. And nobody would help him because they just think it's just a kid. It's just a kid with like his quirk made him like that, which is true. And like nobody recognizes him as Endeavor's son because of all the scars and all that. And Deku, he would be really mad. And really, like, he would be mad about like Endeavor throwing him out, and saying that he's like worthless, but he's also really sad because he would never see his brothers and sister again, and his mom. Oh wait, never mind. The mom is still in the hospital, in the mental hospital. But still, he will never see her again. And yeah. So yeah. So Deku, or not Deku. I'm gonna go to Todoroki's view. So Todoroki, he passed out, and he wakes up the next day. So it's the next day. He woke up, and he remembers that about Deku, and he says Deku, and he starts running around the house looking for him. Then he asked like his siblings and saying where's Deku, and they would say I don't know. And then he would remember that Endeavor had Deku, like his dad had Deku. Then he like get angry, and he would run towards his dad, and he would say, "Dad, where's Deku? Like, what did you do with him?" And Endeavor would say like, "Oh, I kicked him out. He was too weak to live in this house." Like, and he was like, "I can't believe my kid would grow up with my kid would have such a strong quirk, but such a weak body." And that's all it took for Todoroki to snap, and he just starts like using his quirk, like his eyesight, on his dad, like saying like, "You monster! Like you got rid of my brother, my only friend." And Endeavor would just like it would not affect him. He would just raise up his body temperature like higher, and it would like the ice would start melting, and he would say like, "You have other siblings to play with. Now leave me alone." And Todoroki would have like a hatred like 5 times greater than what he has in canon. Like he would be a lot like colder because about like how he threw away his twin brother / friend. So yeah. Do you guys want this one to be a villain what if, or do you want me to like make it a hero what if? Like I can make it like where when the USJ happens, like Deku's like he joins the like Shigaraki invites Deku to join the League of Villains, like with and he would show up in the USJ attack, and then he would like get taken under, like he would be in UA after that. Like if do you guys want that, or do you want like a villain what if? I don't know. I really like this series, in my opinion. I hope you guys too. So I'm gonna end it off here. I hope you liked it. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.